So right now I am seeing so many sprouts, which means that there is a massive increase of new players, and this is dope. It's awesome. I'm running dungeons I never ran before in the duty roulette. I'm running trials that I forgot even exist. But I remember back in 2015 as a sprout, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So I want to create this video to help you, the listener, and people out there who are going through what they're going through, to be able to navigate some things I wish I knew that aren't necessarily obvious when you first start out. So let's get started. What's up, good people? It's your Final Fantasy homie Jay. The first thing I want to encourage you on is to find your play style. In a lot of MMOs, you pick a class and you stuck with that class, and you have to figure out if you enjoy it while you're going through that character, and if not, you start over and you repeat the process. But Final Fantasy does a beautiful thing, and this was the first thing that got me hooked, was that you are not locked into your class. You can try archer, and if you're not feeling it, switch over to gladiator. If you're not feeling that, switch over to dragoon, and see what's your play style. What do you like to do? Do you want to be the leader of the group? Do you want to play a tank and be the lead of the pace of the dungeon? Or do you want to be a healer and be everybody's guardian angel? Or do you want to be the big bad DPS and just blow everything up? It doesn't limit you on what you want to do. You can literally do everything on one character. So do not be afraid to try out new things. And I encourage you to try out every class that you're interested in and see if you like it. Because at the end of the day, you got to enjoy what you're playing. And if you enjoy the story, go for it. If you're not a big fan of the story, that's okay too. I have a friend who's been playing Final Fantasy with me ever since I've been playing it. He doesn't know anything about the story. He skips every cutscene, but he loves the game for its gameplay and its dungeons and its runs, and that's okay. You have to find a play style that you enjoy, whether that's crafting, and you can do every crafting and ability, but don't feel like you have to follow a certain path to enjoy Final Fantasy. And I wanted to get that out first because I know there's a lot of back and forth about that, but please, find your playstyle, find what makes you happy in Final Fantasy, and enjoy it. You're paying for it. Enjoy that game. Next tip I want to give you is to read your skill descriptions. They're super important. Make sure you read them because they give you a lot of information, but there's a trick to it. And Final Fantasy doesn't tell you this, but I would challenge you to check it every 10 levels. Like, go back over your skills every 10 levels, because as you unlock more abilities, some of your old skills get additional things that they do with newer abilities that you unlock. There's no indication that tells you that. Like, for instance, I play Ninja, and when you unlock Hide originally, it just allows you to go invisible. But once you unlock Mudra, starting at level, I think 35, Hide gets a new stat that allows you to reset your Mudra stacks. And you wouldn't know that unless you go back and read it. And it took me a while, which I'm not proud to admit, so I'm not going to say how long it took, but it took me a little while to figure out that Hide had an additional ability. And a lot of classes and a lot of skills do that. As you level up new skills, the older skills get additional things that they do that they add on once the skill gets added. So make sure you're always checking your skill description I would say every 10 levels. You're pretty safe if you check it every 10 levels, just to make sure that you aren't missing something and then something new didn't get added to the rotation. This third one, some people hate it, some people love it, but majority of the content is locked behind story. Actually, pretty much all the content is locked behind the story. And as you progress in the MSQ, is what they call it, which is the main story quest, you unlock additional things, new dungeons, new trials, new quests unlocked to unlock new features. So you want to take time to do your quest. And the good thing about the quest is they actually are set to take a class from 1 to 80. If you play the quest all the way through, if you play the main story all the way through, you're going to max one of your classes out to 80. That's just how it works. It's built that way. It gives you more XP than you need, and it's going to make sure that you're good to go whenever you hit level 80. You don't have to do any additional grinding on the side unless you want to. But a lot of that stuff, and a majority of the game is locked behind main story quests. Something I didn't know. But taking time to explore it, there's nothing wrong with that, but just know that at some point you got to put a little time into the main story quest. You can enjoy those additional features. And always, if you want to take a break from main story quest, I encourage you to do quests that have little plus signs on them. They give you additional features and additional things that you can unlock, and it's pretty dope. And it's nice to take a refreshing break from story. Story is amazing. It's awesome. Sometimes, the grind can get a little too real, and you just need to sit back and take a little break. Now, this tip is going to kind of stack to what I said the first time, and that's try different jobs. I don't know how many times, and I get picked at by my friends, I get picked at by my free company. I don't know how many times I've said I'm a main, and then I switch my main like a butt later because I end up loving a new job. Every job brings a different vibe. Every job brings a different personality. Every job brings a different set of skills that you end up just falling in love with. And if you limit yourself saying I'm only gonna play this one job, I'm not gonna try anything. You may never know. You might be a monk main who has played Bard and it's like, wow, I really enjoy this Bard. I really thought Bard was bad. I thought it was weak. I thought it wasn't even good, but I'm super in love with it. And you may find a new enjoyment for Final Fantasy. And there's nothing better right now while we got this 6-month break. Try a new job, see what fits for you, which doesn't work. Give tanking a try, see if you enjoy tanking or if it just gives you the G-buzz. Give healing a try, or does healing give you anxiety? Try new jobs. Don't be ashamed. The game is built around that for you to try things and with no penalty. So try new jobs. Do them. See if you like them. If you're not, then you set them to the side and never touch them again. They won't have to know. Another thing that the game explains, but I'm gonna go in a little more detail about free companies. Free companies are great ways to interact with with the community within the community of Final Fantasy, and there's a range of them. Free companies who do serious stuff, role-playing free companies, casual free companies, beginner-friendly free companies, in-game focused free companies that love to ask questions and answer questions for new players, free companies who don't like doing that and they don't do a lot of talking. But there's a beautiful system of free companies where, you know, there's something there for everybody. And you may have to fish around a little bit, try out different ones, see which ones are your style, which ones you're not. But it's great to be able to find that free company that really fits for you, and you got this group of people who you can communicate with all the time and share your love for Final Fantasy. And then there's additional bonus that free companies also can activate boosts to give you extra XP while you're doing your stuff, or they can boost, you know, make things a little bit cheaper, make teleports a little bit cheaper, make your chocobo level up faster. So there's benefits to joining a free company, not just for the social aspect, but also just for your own personal growth as you're going through the game. They encourage the free company lifestyle, and I've made a lot of great friends through it. So I encourage you, you know, whenever there's an opportunity to try the free company, try it out. See if you like it. There's usually a description. They usually explain what kind of free company they are, and then you go from there and see if it fits your play style. Hop in there, make some great friends, and go on some amazing journeys together. You'll never know what kind of friends you'll make in a free company. Now this last tip, I want to pull the mic a little bit closer because this one was important. Burnout is a real thing. I've been playing Final Fantasy since 2015. I've started over twice because of the break I took between 2016 and 2018. I took a long break for life because life got in the way, and I wanted to start over to get the whole vibe again. And I grinded so hard that I kind of got a little tired, you know. And I love this game so much, so I didn't want to lose that passion. So I cut back a little bit on the MSQ drive and started getting into crafting and started doing some other trials and start, you know, trying to level my chocobo and running some fates and starting relics. And there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do in this game. And I want to encourage you to don't feel burnt out. We got an entire 6 months before Endwalker. So if you're new and you're hearing all this hype around Endwalker, which is the hype is real, super excited, but you're starting to feel nervous about, am I going to get there? Don't worry about it. You got 6 months. That's plenty of time to get prepared for Endwalker. And you being here is the first step of getting it done. But understand that there is a lot into doing the game. So if you ever feel burnt out of, oh man, I've been running MSQs for 12 hours. I want to do something else. Go do something else. Give your brain a break. Give yourself a refresher. Because the last thing you want to do is play this game to where you burn out. We don't want you to burn out. We love you here and we're happy you're here. We want you to enjoy the game. And burning out can cause some negative effects. So if you need to take a break, take a rest, try a new class, hang out with some friends, just do some social hangouts. The free company that I'm in does like a dance party every other Saturday if you're into that stuff. And just enjoy the game for the other aspects. It's not, you don't have to focus on getting straight to the end game. The end game will be there. We got a long time. And when you get there, you don't want to be confused on what to do. But just enjoy the process and have a good time. The grind will burn you out if you do it continuously forever. Find the love, find the joy in the game. You know, I'm curious, what was something that you wish you knew when you first started? Leave it in the comments below so that way people can read it and they can take the advice and hopefully help them as they're on their journey, because the more we help each other, the more people can get better at things and it can be a better community as we continue to grow. If this video has helped you in any way, give it a big thumbs up. That way it can help other people and other people can see it as they go on their Final Fantasy journey. And if you're looking for more Final Fantasy content, feel free to subscribe. It helps the channel for free. It doesn't cost you a thing. And you get to hang out with me, which is pretty cool. If you want to hang out with me on a more personal level, if you like my personality, I Twitch on stream every week, like 4 days right now. The link is in the description below. Come and hang out with me there. I answer questions there. I have a good time there. It's a fun time. Come by and stop by. And as always, continue to be the warrior's light in real life and continue to change the world for better as we do in our favorite Final Fantasy game. And as always, happy questing. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.